Hello, everybody. My name is Gina Petnito, and I am the founding member of Academic Women Reclaim Your Power. And today I'm really happy to welcome Naomi Tyrrell from Research Your Way, and she is going to be one of our spotlighted entrepreneurs. Welcome, Naomi.
Hi, Gina. Great to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you here too. So let me ask you a little bit about your academic career, and then we'll talk about how you transitioned into entrepreneurship. So first, where did you get your degree? In what field? And in what capacity did you work as an academic, and for how long?
Okay, so I got my degree in 2020. No, hang on. I was about to say 2022. That would be nice. I got my degree in 2002 from the University of Wales, and that was in human geography. I then went straight into doing a PhD. So in the UK, it's slightly different to other countries. So we can go straight into doing a PhD, and I got a scholarship to do that at the same institution. So I just went straight through and probably didn't quite know what I was letting myself in for. And then as I was finishing my PhD, I worked part-time for a commercial research company. So I kind of got a good idea of how my skills could be used outside of academia. But I was fortunate enough to get a postdoc position fairly soon after finishing my PhD, but after a short stint full time in commercial research. And then I moved to Ireland, which was where my Marie Curie postdoc was. So I was there for almost 4 years, and with that postdoc leading into part-time lectureship. And then I moved back to the UK at the University of Plymouth in 2010 for a full-time lectureship. So I was full-time permanent then from 2010, and loved it. I loved working with the students. I loved seeing their confidence grow. There were loads of elements that I loved. I loved the research that I was doing, but the workload just became too much after I had children. That was kind of the crunch point for me. I had my first child, and it kind of was like, oh, how am I going to manage this? Had my second child, and I was like, I don't think I am going to manage this.
Yeah. And so after that, then you were motivated to start your own business. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. So I kind of did, I had some coaching, which was really important for me coming back from my first maternity leave. And that was really helpful in kind of thinking, what are my values? And do my values really fit with the way academia is going in the UK? And decided probably not, but I do love research and I do love working with students. So I was kind of unsure what I was going to do. And then after my second maternity leave, I went back part time. So I'd got a research project that enabled me to work part-time and from home, which was ideal. So I resigned from the lectureship, and just the university didn't want to lose the research money, so they let me carry on work part-time on the research grant. And so it was when that came to an end in January 2019, I just thought, actually, I don't want to go back into academia. I'd always thought I probably would. I'd just kind of, make it work somehow and find a job. But I just saw that there were other opportunities for maximizing impact from the kind of work that I wanted to do. And that was much more about working with social purpose organizations and individuals trying to improve society than it was to go back into kind of mainstream academia, particularly when I saw the stress that colleagues were under, and it had become worse in that time that I'd been part-time rather than any improvement really.
Yeah. So you got some coaching. Was it business coaching?
It was actually someone who specialised in helping women when they return to work after maternity, to kind of thinking about identity of being a mother and what going back to work meant, and just kind of reconnecting with who I was, I think. And I changed because of having a
Right.
child. So that was really helpful. And then over the time, I got used coaching resources myself, and also got more coaching that was around business development and business strategy. But it still took a while for me to think of myself as running a business. So I just kind of thought, I do research consultancy part-time, and didn't see myself as a business owner. So it's only really in the last year or so where I've really kind of stepped up and thought, actually, yeah, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, I love what I do, and this is me now. This is like a comfortable identity for me. And coaching definitely helped with that.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay. So I do a few things, and I think that's quite common with entrepreneurs too, isn't it? We kind of have different things
Yeah,
going on. So the main thing that I do is research and evaluation for charities and social purpose organisations, but increasingly that's spread into universities as well, probably because that's where my existing networks are. So I do research impact for universities now as well. And I love that work. It's using all of my skills. Sometimes it's specifically related to my academic area, sometimes it's not. But it's really helping organisations see what they're doing in perhaps new ways, or to develop their understanding of what they're doing for their service users, and using their service users' feedback to improve what they're delivering for them. So I love that. The kind of turnaround time in terms of impact is much shorter than in academia. It's not like months to get papers accepted and then who's going to read them. It is, really short, a few months of project, and then a really short turnaround in terms of them implementing the findings of the research that I do. So I absolutely love that. And I had a little motto to myself. I was only going to work with nice people. So I've been really, really fortunate. I think if you have difficult experiences, you're kind of like, oh, you're trying to filter out who you would like to work with and who you wouldn't. So yeah, I kind of have managed to stick with that too, which has been amazing. So people of all different backgrounds, different charities and organizations that they're running, but it's, if you can get on well with the people, then that's wonderful. Wonderful as a business owner, and you're not waiting to be paid or constantly chasing for the information to come to you. So I've been really fortunate in that regard. And then the other thing that I do now, well, two things, but mainly around coaching. So I use my academic knowledge around migration and mobility to coach and mentor parents and children who are moving home. So that was something that I had never really envisaged, but kind of came to me from resources from roostervein.com, where Chris Cornthwaite was talking about kind of being a thought leader and what expertise you have, and to claim that even when you're outside of academia. So I have a website and a small coaching business that works with families moving home. And then I do coaching for researchers as well, which was also something that I hadn't originally envisaged, but I found that a lot of people wanted advice about how to make that transition out of academia and do so successfully, to kind of realign with their values and not see it as having to start again in a new career, not seeing that what they'd achieved in academia was a waste of time for the real world, but really seeing how their skills, experience, and knowledge was transferable. So I really love the coaching side of the business as well, because again, you can kind of, a bit like with students, you can see people really kind of claim their expertise and see all the possibilities that are out there. And I think sometimes academia can make us constantly feel like we're not good enough. It's such a hypercritical environment. And
yeah,
that actually coming out of that with our sense of self-esteem intact can be really difficult.
right, right. So, what advice do you have for budding academic entrepreneurs?
Find out what other people are doing who've left academia. So if this is the path you're on, or the path that you're considering, just broaden your network. If you don't have people in your existing work network or social network who are doing anything other than academia, then broaden that. Use social media. Social media is fantastic. I think LinkedIn is amazing as a professional
Right.
resource for developing an LTAC career and broadening your LTAC network. So do that, and just even if that kind of fills you with a sense of dread of like having to meet new people, just do it incrementally, like step by step. It doesn't have to be like a massive rush of I've got to connect with 100 people. And if you can't do that through social media because that fills you with dread, just talk to people, like maybe you've got a cousin or a friend of a friend, or somebody who's doing something that you think, oh, that's quite interesting, I wonder how they got into that, or I wonder if I could do that, or what do I need to do? Because you can look at job descriptions, can't you? And sometimes it can just feel overwhelming and you think, oh, I could never do that. But when you're talking to people who do the job, and you just get more breadth of knowledge about what people are doing, I think that can be really, really helpful. And again, if you're in that place of maybe being beaten down by the academic system and constantly felt like you don't have anything to contribute and you're not good enough, then just being kind to yourself and gently becoming aware of what the possibilities are for you, I think can be a really good starting point. And I can 100% guarantee you have skills, knowledge, and experience that is in demand. It's not like what can I do? What can I do? There are loads of opportunities for you, but sometimes it's about increasing our self-confidence to go out there and see what those opportunities are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got PhDs. We are successes by definition.
Exactly.
Anything else you'd like to say to academic women? Anything at all that you'd like to share?
I think it's so great that you've developed this space, Gina. I think it's so important, and I think that the more we can help each other, that's kind of my philosophy really. The more we can help each other, the better, because it's not. There's loads of work out there. It doesn't have to be competitive. It doesn't have to be hypercritical.
Right.
We don't have to pull up the ladder as soon as we've climbed up to the next rung. Actually, if academia was the supportive space that a lot of us women would like it to be, our experiences would be different, and so would other people's. So if we're moving out of academia, then let's not take that difficult environment with us. If we can, let's create something new, let's create something supportive. And that's what I try to do through my Facebook group, Alt Careers UK, because I realized there's like the quite a few Facebook groups based in North America, but the system is slightly different. So I set up one in the UK in COVID in 2020, again, just to try to provide a supportive space where people could share their experiences, give advice. So loads of free advice in there. We've got, I think it's like 1,500 members on there now. All, not everybody's active, but I know people look and they read, and then people also comment and post. So supporting each other, I think, is really, really important.
Absolutely. It's the whole reason why I started Academic Women Reclaim Your Power, to find a way of having us develop womanly ways of supporting each other. So anyway, Naomi, thank you so much for participating in my entrepreneur spotlight. And I hope that we have an opportunity to chat and work with each other again.
Yeah, that would be amazing, especially as our company names are so similar, Gina, which we found out, didn't we? Which was so funny.
I know my business is called Writing Your Way and Your Research Your Way. I know,
Yeah.
it's very
So we
funny.
were meant to meet.
We were meant to meet. Yeah. So thank you so much, and we'll talk again.
My pleasure. Thank you, Gina.